Hello and welcome to Glorious Marriage. We are your co-hosts, Johnny and Lori Thomason, and we'll be with you for these next several minutes to go over some things to help you and your spouse to have a glorious marriage.
That's right. Call somebody, text somebody. Hey, share this video on social media. Be sure to go to www.kingdomkeys.org. Go to the podcast page. If you missed this program, subscribe to the Johnny Thomason YouTube page. And we're off. We've been talking about communication and conflict resolution for the past 4 programs. This will be the 5th program. We're talking about glorious conflict resolution. We had 3 over communication. So first we go over the steps on good communication and how to make your marriage more glorious. And then we talk about conflict. And conflict is simply a disagreement. It's all you got to, just to simplify.
It kind of gets a bad connotation.
It does get a bad connotation.
It doesn't have to be a quote, quote, knock down, drag out fight, for it to be considered like a conflict. So it's just, we have conflicting views, conflicting opinions. It means we don't agree.
Well, because God created us different.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, God creates a man to see the world a certain way.
Yeah.
A woman, she was created to see it from a different perspective. It's simply a different perspective, and therefore you must have the good communication in order to communicate what you're seeing, what you're feeling.
To harmonize your viewpoint.
The marriage relationship. Because in the marriage relationship, the two shall become one flesh.
Right.
Well, it's hard. It's not hard. It's hard without God. It's hard without the instruction of the Lord. If you want to do it on your own, go for it. But I need the help with the Lord. And even with the help with the Lord, sometimes it's difficult. But that's not the point. The point is this. We have to communicate. We don't want to avoid conflict. We want to look at conflict as an ally in order to get the disagreement out of the way. Well, basically, you're just shining light on the disagreement. Okay? And you may not come to a full agreement, but you will have a full understanding of where you both come from.
So the other day, I was going to take our oldest grandson to go eat lunch for his birthday. And I said, you pick, it's your birthday, you get to pick where we go eat. He goes, no, I don't want to pick, you pick. And I said, no, it's your birthday, you pick where we go. No, I don't want to pick, anything's fine with me, you pick. And I thought, he's 12 and is already starting. Where do you want to go? I don't care. Where do you want to go? I don't care. Where do you want to go?
Wow.
And he said, because I guarantee you, if I say something, you're going to say, no, I don't want to go there. Well, depending on where you pick, that could be correct. So we, what, we all do have an opinion.
Yeah.
And, sometimes we and I just kind of throw that out there because that's something that probably 99% of the people listening can relate to, that,
Oh, yeah.
That's the age old, I saw a meme one time, and it was 2 skeletons sitting in a car, and it said something along the lines, we were waiting to agree on where we could go to eat, or for one of us to pick where we're going to go eat or something. It's that age old, but there's a lot of underlying things there, Johnny, because sometimes it's just easier to say, no, you pick, because maybe one has felt like they don't have a voice.
Yeah,
like
possibly.
It doesn't matter. Wherever I pick, you always say no, so never mind. And they've trained themselves to...
See, that's avoiding a conflict.
That's avoiding
and as cheesy as that is, that's why a lot of times, 25, 30, 35 years down the road, you've had enough.
Yeah.
And you say, we're getting a divorce.
Yeah.
Because for the 20 or 25 years, you hadn't had a voice, or you have avoided the conflict.
Right.
You've avoided resolving the disagreement.
Yeah.
See, I'm going to get people to think this. Resolve the disagreement.
Yeah.
Instead of avoiding the disagreement, let's resolve it.
Yeah.
Let's get to the bottom of it.
Yeah.
Because that's why, bottom line, that's fact. That's real. Lori and I heard this, I don't know, it's been about a year or 2 ago now, and it's like, why are you people getting a divorce after this? Well, because they've had enough.
Yeah.
They get to the point they've avoided and put off. I haven't had a voice. We've put up with this for so many years, and all of a sudden, boom, I'm done.
Yeah.
So that's why we teach what we teach. We are trying to help you to understand, to get through, to navigate, so you do not end up in a divorce.
Yeah.
Because God hates divorce.
Because nobody would probably admit or say it's because I don't ever get to pick where we go out to eat. That's just a minor, but there's a deeper rooted issue that never got resolved. And when it gets, when you heap on and heap on and heap on until it's like snap, that's it. And it can be over. You never know what that snap, what's going to cause the snap. You don't know. Right. Because it can be something just so, I say Mickey Mouse, so minor that you're like, what?
If it would have been addressed,
that's
right,
not really.
That's really not the issue.
What the issue was.
And that's why we're talking about now, to avoid these Mickey Mouse, quote, Mickey Mouse issues, so they don't become an elephant. So they don't become that great big huge thing that causes you to finally snap. Or the camel that broke or the straw that broke the camel's back, so to speak. Yeah. Okay. Let's get into some tips, because I know that people are saying, well, how am I supposed to do this? How are we supposed to do this? Okay, listen, y'all take some notes, write this stuff down, and you better exercise it, because Lori and I put a lot of time and effort into this stuff, so we have to practice it as well.
That's right.
I mean, we've been married for 37 years.
Almost,
and I have to make myself obey these little rules and things, just so we don't have an issue or whatever.
Right.
So we'll look at, and I think we've talked about this before, determine the time and place to resolve an issue.
Right.
Lori likes to say now is not always the best time to address the issue.
Right now is not always the best time.
And then we said don't put it off by using that. But think about it when you're rested and you're both not hungry. Yeah. You don't have the kids in the way, or you're not trying to do it over a text. You are talking in person, face to face, kind of an appointed time. Let's resolve this issue.
Yeah. And sometimes, Johnny, you realize that, you know what? Now that I'm rested, now that I've got, a good meal, there's not an issue. That's all it was. I was just tired and I was just hungry.
Yeah. But if there is an issue.
But if there is, you definitely want to handle it, at a proper time. Mm-hmm. And then, like you said, clarifying the issue. So today we're going to look at this next point, which is what has been done in the past to try to solve the problem, to try to solve the disagreement.
How did you handle it the last time?
How did you handle it the last time? Did it work? Did it not? If you're trying to handle things the same way over and over and over, not getting a result, that's kind of the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over and over, expecting a different result. Mm-hmm. So if that didn't work the last time, let's try something else. Let's do this. Let's try this, because you have to keep trying. You have to keep looking. You have to keep growing. You have to keep seeking the Lord, so and finding
the same problem.
Yeah.
This next one's really good, and this goes back to some good communication. You have to communicate this. What do you want? What is your goal?
Yeah.
And you have to be very clear about what you want.
That's right.
So whenever Lori and I are having a discussion, I can't read her mind. She can't read my mind. I can't assume that she knows what I want. Mm-hmm. I can't assume that she knows what the goal is. So therefore, it's on me to be very clear on what I want. What is my expectations? Yeah. What do I need you to do? What do I need you to understand?
If we haven't voiced it, then, are we even on the same page? Are we working toward the same thing, or are we, you're on this playing field and I'm on this playing field and we're not even playing the same sport? If we're not careful, that's kind of where you end up. Yeah. I thought we were doing this, but no, I thought we were doing this.
So we have to find out, are we on the same page?
Yeah.
Do we have the same goal?
Yeah.
Come to find out, a lot of times Lori and I, we are on the same page.
Right.
We do have the same goals.
Yeah.
We just see it differently, so therefore we communicate it differently.
Yeah.
So there could be a possible conflict that needs resolved,
Yeah.
but because we sit there and we communicate, hey, this is the goal, this is what I want, this is what we need to do.
Yeah.
Then we look at each other and it's like, that's exactly where I want to go.
Yeah.
But it's like she goes one way, I go another. It doesn't matter, just so we get there.
Yeah.
And that's the conclusion that Lori and I have to come to. We don't always agree how to get there, but the fact is we got there. She got there her way, I got there my way. Problem solved.
We're there.
End of story. We're both happy. I
Yeah.
give her the grace to go her way. She gives me the grace to go my way. Boom, there it is.
Yeah.
See?
Well, you know what we have to overcome so many times, Johnny, is pride, because
That's it.
pride will say, well, we're going to do it. It's my way or the highway. You
Well,
know,
and that's it.
And that's
Yep.
where, you know,
Yep.
that's what you have to be guarded
That's what you
against.
have to guard against.
Sometimes, you know, depending on certain situations, I can see that there might be some things that if we don't do it this way, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not going to say that could never be the case, but in a majority of situations, there's more than one way.
Exactly.
You know, there's
And
more
that's-
than one way. So are we going to lay down our pride or our stubbornness or whatever you want to call it and allow, you know, our spouse to have a say and compromise?
That's a key.
You know,
That's a key. Blessed are those who are flexible.
that's right.
You got to be flexible.
It doesn't always have to be my way. I don't always get to be the boss.
Right, because
And
remember, you are no longer yours.
that's right.
Husband and wife, you
Yeah.
are no longer yours. You
Yeah.
belong to Jesus Christ. You belong to your spouse.
Yeah.
You are no longer yours. You have to be
Yeah.
flexible.
So here's a thought. When was the last time you asked your spouse, what do you think about ...
Yeah.
and gave them an opinion, gave them a platform to speak and share their heart?
And don't
or is
Criticize their opinion. Don't
Right.
criticize what they say.
Yeah.
When they
or
express that,
ridicule or
don't say, well, that's stupid. No, we don't do that.
right.
No, even if you think it's stupid, you keep that to yourself and you try to understand from where they're coming from. You try to understand from
Or ask
their
them, okay,
perspective.
so why do you think that? Or
Yeah.
tell me more. Or, you know, I mean, expound. Share with me, you know, something to get them to, you know, to help you to see their vantage or their viewpoint, you know.
Gotta do that.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Hey, Lori, check this out. You brought this to my attention years ago when we were in youth ministry. It's Ephesians 6:12. And it says this, for we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this age, against spiritual hosts of wickedness in heavenly places.
That's right.
And you use this in the text of, we had a student and we were in youth ministry. I know we're going to hurry. This will be our last point, and then we're going to pick up where we left off next week. We'll start right there if you'll mark that. Okay. So I said, I do not understand that girl. She's irritating me. She said, Johnny, look, don't look at the child. Don't look at the girl. There's always a spirit behind it, and you got to realize that. And then you pointed that out to me, and it dawned on me. So then when we go to putting together this resolution stuff and this conflict resolution, we're like, hey, when a husband and a wife, we love each other.
Yeah.
We're going to look at this spirit behind it. What is that?
Yeah.
So you got to realize that. Well, we're out of time, Miss Lori. Oh. So this will be conflict resolution number 2.
Yeah.
And we're going to pick up with conflict.
Glorious resolution. We're calling it glorious resolutions. So
Glorious resolution number 1.
number 2.
This will be number 2.
Yep.
So be sure to stay tuned in here to the Kingdom Keys Network. And if you're watching the video, it'll be part 3. Okay? Thank you, Miss Lori. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.